day. And my mom would say, you're going to gently wash these cherries. We gently roll them back and forth on the wet sheets. Because she said there's going to be other cherry stands at the market, and you have to stand out. Someone needs to be able to walk by your stand and pick a sample of cherry right out of your bin. That's how clean they need to be. So we would begrudgingly wash these cherries. We'd wake up extra early in the morning to get the best spot at the farmer's market. And once we were there, my mother taught me, someone buys a 5-pound bag from you, you make sure that they see you add an extra handful of cherries on top, because they will come back to your cherry stand the next time. So I have to say, I didn't mind selling out early, because that often happened to us. And I used the cash to buy school clothes and pay for my soccer and basketball shoes and sports camps. And at the time, I didn't like that, because my peers didn't have to do that. But now I'm so grateful for those values of hard work, going the extra mile, and putting people first. And as I've traveled all across Washington State, I can tell you people are hungry. They want opportunity. They want to work hard. They want to put people first. And we're slowly seeing that opportunity be taken away from us, bit by bit by bit. And I want my 3 sons to thrive in this state. I want them to have more opportunity than I ever had. And so that's why I'm standing up in this fight today. You know, I wouldn't know how valuable it would be until much later in my life. But 16 years ago, I was essentially living my American dream. I was graduated with a bachelor's of science, first in my family to graduate with a 4-year degree. That was a really big deal. And I had always wanted to be a nurse, so there's no question what I would do. I married my high school sweetheart, Tiffany Smiley. He was a newly commissioned officer from the United States Military Academy. He was an officer, I was a nurse. My new last name was Smiley. Doesn't get very much more American dreamish than that. We had our whole future ahead of us, and it was bright and beautiful, and there was nothing that we wouldn't be able to do. But very quickly after Scotty and I were married, he received orders to deploy to Mosul, Iraq for over a year-long deployment. You see, 9/11 had happened when we were juniors in high school. So it was very clear that he would be going to war. We actually changed our wedding date so we could get married prior to him deploying. And I thought, you know, no big deal. I'll work as many overtimes as I can as a nurse, helping my neighbors in emergency situations, and I'll wait for Scotty to get back from his deployment. We'll start our lives together, build our family, and build our American dream. But all of that changed on April 6th of 2005 when my phone rang before my nursing shift. I excitedly got out of bed, answered the phone, expecting Scotty's voice. But instead it was someone else's voice on the other end of the line. And this commanding officer began to deliver the most heartbreaking news that every military family absolutely dreads. He said, Tiffany, through his tears, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Scotty's come face to face with the suicide car bomb. It's exploded. One thing we are sure of is that he'll never see again. The shrapnel obliterated both of his eyes. The second thing we're not sure of is if he's going to survive. He said he's flatlined several times, he's lost too much blood, he can't move the right side of his body. We've loaded him on a Black Hawk helicopter. Hopefully someone calls you from Balad, Iraq. That was the day our American dream blew up into a million pieces. That was the day that changed everything. And that was the day that our fight began. And it has never, ever ended. I do believe we have a choice. You had a choice to be here today. You said yes to coming here. We have a choice. And we have a choice in this country to stand up and use our voices. And we need it now more than ever. Yeah. But that day, I didn't know how important the choices I made would be. I resigned from my nursing job. I packed a suitcase, and I took a one-way flight out to Walter Reed Army Medical Center in Washington, D.C. And when people say, you know, wow, Senate, that's such a big jump, like, why are you just jumping into the Senate? And Patty Murray, oh my goodness, she's, you know, high up in leadership. She's one of the most powerful senators in the Democrat Party. And you're from Washington State, and oh my goodness, what are you doing? I often share this. I was 23 years old. I had student loan debt. I had a car payment. And I just walked into my husband's trauma care unit at Walter Reed Army Medical Center, where he was blind, partially paralyzed, and in a coma. That was scary. That was a big jump. So you know what? When I think about taking on Patty Murray, I say bring it.